OC16 Sports is presented in high definition with surround sound. OC16 Sports, celebrating 28 years of being your exclusive home to live high school athletic competition. This live sports presentation is proudly brought to you by New City Nissan, Zippy's, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, Jack in the Box, and Shopo, Hawaii's Police Officers Union. Tonight on OC16, strike up the band and get in step for Hawaii's premier marching band competition. It's time for the 2016 Mililani Trojan Bandfest. Watch as we showcase live 14 high schools, hundreds of students showcasing their precision maneuvering, syncopated percussion, brilliant color guards, and mad drum major skills, all set to their uniquely crafted musical extravaganza. These performances are the culmination of countless hours of practice and dedication. This is the 2016 Mililani Trojan Bandfest. It's coming your way in high definition and only on OC16 Oceanic Time Warner Cable. Aloha and welcome to a night where it's a culmination of hours and hours of work. Something that started back in the summertime with just dots on a sheet and countless rehearsals and trials in the sun. It culminates tonight at the 20th annual Mililani High School Trojan Bandfest at John Kamehameha Stadium on the campus of Mililani High School. How you doing, everybody? Dave Vinton sitting right here along with my two buddies, longtime music educators, Denby Dung and Fred Murphy.
Hey there.
You know, every year we mark it on our calendar, right?
We
this
do.
is just something that you got to tune into and just watch. We're excited because really it's new every year. We're surprised every single year. But
That's true.
what we do know, certain things remain the same. From year to year, the competition-wise, they are grouped by size. So why don't we take you first through how they're going to group these different schools based on the size of the band. So Fred, why don't you lead things off here?
Sure. Size is pretty obvious. So we, in the single A division, we have 3 divisions here. We have members 1 to 60 members in these bands. There are 8 bands performing. This is the most competitive single A division we've seen in years.
And then we have the double A division from 61 to 100 members. And this year we have 2 of those bands.
And so finally, we have the triple A division. This is the largest set of instrumentalists, 101 players and bigger. That's Leilehua, Campbell, and Moanalua.
And we have in exhibition today our gracious host, the Mililani Trojan Band.
So, of course, Mililani is listed as exhibition because as the host school, just to make sure it looks all right. And if they were to win everything, people would be going,
well, they paid for the judges, so it would look very lopsided if they were to place anything in this night. So they're an exhibition.
But they'll still be broken down by the same judges, so they'll be given a score. So we'll see how they stack up, relatively comparatively speaking, to the other schools. But again, it is going to be a wonderful night. This is the 20th annual edition of the Mililani High School Trojan Band Fest, and we were going to send you out to get you ready. This is what happened last year with the 3 big winners. It was Kapolei winning the sweepstakes award. Take a look at what they did last year. Then there was Kalani High School. This is how they looked out in the field, so crisp in the white uniforms with the red. And of course, from the neighbor island, it was Maui. Really doing a job on things. This is the 20th annual Mililani High School Trojan Bandfest on OC16. Welcome back to Mililani High School. We're just about ready to get started. And like any competition, of course, the only way to do it right, Denby, is to have the national anthem, Hawaii Ponoi, played. Doing the honors will be the Mililani High School Trojan Marching Band. And to get things really started, we turn it over to the voice, Mr. Darren Hernandez.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise for the presentation of the colors by the Mililani High School JROTC and the playing of the Star Spangled Banner and Hawaii Ponoi by the members of the Mililani High School Trojan Marching Band.
Excellent renditions of both Hawaii Ponoi and the national anthem of the Mililani High School Trojan Marching Band. And a good friend of yours is the band director, Mr. Derek Ka'apana.
Yes, he's fantastic. Great job, Derek.
So the colors will go off the field now. We're just about ready to get things started. The Trojan Marching Band, of course, will be the exhibition performance at the end of things. But really, in about 3.5, 4 hours, you're going to see some of the... I know it sounds like a long time, but this is going to fly by. You're going to find yourself just watching one band after another. We got a little break between the larger bands and the smaller bands, and that'll be kind of the halfway point. But again, we're here on the campus of Mililani High School, John Kawiana Stadium, as you see the very sharp-looking Trojan Marching Band taking off the field. But again, this is a competition, and so to start things off, let's break down who our adjudicators are. It's going to be a handful of judges. There's going to be a head judge, and we have their names up on the graphic there. And we'll start off with the head judge, Michael Payton. And talk about the job that these people have to do. You see Bob Buckner, music ensemble, and Gary Gilroy, music individual.
Well, each judge is focusing on a particular portion of the marching. So the head judge is kind of the overall. Music ensemble, Bob is listening to everything, how it sounds together. Gary Gilroy is listening to the soloist, the music individual, or the small groups, soloists, duets, trios, things like that.
But wait, there's more. More judges, that is. You see on the second page here, Todd Clevenger, general effects, John Morris, visual ensemble, and Molly Harden, visual individual. Maybe share a little bit about what these different categories are.
Sure. So Todd is looking for general effects, basically the overall effect of the band on the audience, how everything looks and sounds all together. John Morris, the visual ensemble, is basically looking at how the marching and maneuvering looks, how our flags look, how our rifles look. And Molly Harden is looking for visual individuals, so basically soloists.
And you see some of the judges will be actually stationed down on the field. These are two of them down on the track area. The rest of them will be up here in the press box, not in our booth, but a little bit off to the side there. As far as categories, this is what they're going to kind of basically break it all down to. General effects first up.
So general effects, we were looking for the communication of the music ensemble, how everything sounds together, how an audience interprets everything. It's really how a performance makes you feel, really.
And then after that, it's the visual ensemble, and that's kind of self-explanatory. It sounds like this is all talking about what am I seeing and how's that maybe affecting me.
Exactly. Yes, you want to... certain performances just really move you. Like this is, I think, Mililani from last year, and a very exciting performance.
That's the visual ensemble category, artistry, technique, accuracy, and musical performance, all part of the category there. Then we also go, as you mentioned, visual individual, and this is solo kind of aspects and different individual components.
Right, and so that's what the judges on the field are looking for. They have a closer look to what each individual is doing, and this is kind of a newer category to have the judges on the field. Most of the times in the past, we had the judges looking from the top, so the visual individual judges are looking at the performers up close and personal.
And let's face it, these people have a lot of pressure on them because they know those judges' eyes are on them.
Right.
Next category is if you have marching, you've got to have the music, so music ensemble.
Right, and I think people don't understand how difficult it is to play music that sounds good while you're moving so quickly on the field. So we're listening to the sound quality, intonation, and the accuracy of the group performing together.
And again, they, like, as you mentioned, marching and getting to their positions and keeping the right step, it all adds to being very difficult. You know, the old saying, like, walk and chew gum. Well, this is that times a million as far as having to play it and perform at the same time. Then there's also the individual. So this, as it to me, sounds like a soloist or maybe a small ensemble.
Exactly. So solos, small ensembles, also up close and personal, how they sound, their intonation, the tone, rhythm, accuracy of each individual performer.
You take all of that, the judges' scores, it's going to eventually into a sort of an algorithm, it's all these numbers, and you're going to get a festival rating at the end of the night. And this is how they break it down from fair, good, excellent, superior. You want a superior, right?
You always want a superior. That means you are the cream of the crop. You rose to the top. I kind of did a little rap there. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did. Impressive.
Thank you. I'm Chinese, but I can rap. Yeah, so that's the highest that everyone is striving for, the superior rating.
And at this point in the competition schedule, really all of these bands are really, really polished. So we're going to expect to see on the higher end of the scale things going down tonight. Then after the festival rating, sort of the grand prize. Is that a good way to put the sweepstake award?
Yes, the sweepstakes award is for each individual group. So AA, single A, triple A. And so there's one big winner for each category.
And that's what we're going to find out at the very end of tonight. But to get things started, we're just about there. We have the first school getting into their ready positions. And that's going to tell me that it's going to be looking like, start at the beginning of the alphabet. That looks like a big A there. This is Aiea High School, the Na'ali Marching Band. And for their introduction, we're going to turn it over to, you know, this is the voice. If you want one voice at your marching band competition, you want Mr. Darren Hernandez.
Yay.
The Aiea High School Na'ali'i Marching Band and Color Guard, under the direction of Mr. Lee Ikeda, is led by Drum Major Leanne Suzuki. The Aiea High School Na'ali'i Marching Band and Color Guard fields 24 winds, 6 percussionists, and 5 color guard. Their show tonight is the music of earth, wind, and fire. Movement 1, Rock That and September. Movement 2, Fantasy. Movement 3, In the Stone. Drum Major, is your band ready? Aiea High School Na'ali Marching Band and Color Guard, you may take the field in Class A competition.
Not a bad way to kick things off. The Aiea High School Na'ali marching band is exiting the field, but this obviously starting with the smaller groups. As we progress through the night, they'll get larger. But what I liked about, let's see, about 30 wind and percussion, 5 color guards, so let's say 35 people overall. They make the most of their numbers and still have a impactful performance.
Yeah, they were spreading out using quite a bit of the field, and they were really getting into it.
We were talking about, too, when you're in a smaller group, there's nowhere to hide.
There is nowhere to hide, but it also, that helps you focus on how important each individual really is and how you have to work together as a team. This is Mr. Iketa's first year at Aiea High School, and I think he did a good job. Music of Earth, Wind, and Fire. You like them, huh?
Yeah, popular stuff. I know our MC, the house MC, Darren Hernandez, loves doing karaoke to Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh, really?
But tight-looking group, great-looking uniforms, and I think they got to feel good about the performance they just had.
Yes, they put a lot of energy into it. You could see a lot of their horn flashes and a lot of dancing, a lot of movement. Good job.
As they get their equipment off the field, they're going to start to stage down on the ground there. You see the Christmas lights, which we didn't see up here in the press box here. But visually, here's something that you thought stood out was their performance with their color guard here. As we see kind of a still image just to see where their position is on the field. But they did a lot. We'll try to bring back some of that video replay again throughout the night. But again, effective use of the numbers for what they had.
Yes, effective use of the numbers. They were energetic. They were into it. Wonderful.
And throughout the night, we're going to have live reports down on the field. And just getting that performance done is Aiea now with Fred Murphy, who we sent down to the field because we can. We're going to turn it over to Fred, who has a very special guest. Fred.
And so the insults begin. Hi, Dave. Hi, Demby. I'm down here on the field here with Leanne. She's a senior drum major from Aiea. You guys had a rockin' show, Earth, Wind, and Fire. So that's music I love and Dave loves from way back when. How'd you connect to that music from the 70s?
It's a more of a poppy dance music, so we tried to like incorporate our GEs to match that, like our dancing.
Did you do any studying? Did you listen to the music?
Yes, we actually like to play the music over the speakers in the band room, and we would all sing along or play along to it.
Right on, right on. There are a lot of people who are very happy that Earth, Wind, and Fire is being played in your band room. You got a new era starting here at Aiea High School, a brand new director, Mr. Ikeda. What can you tell us about him?
As a change of band director, you know, there's always a change of style and change of feeling, but Ikeda did a really good job at keeping us all together, and he always pumped us up during practice, and we worked hard.
Very good. So congratulations on a great season, and good luck to you. Next year, you're going to be going off to college and doing some great things, so thank you very much. Great job, Lee. Congratulations on your first year, and back to you guys up in the booth.
Thank you, Fred. You'll be joining us all night with those reports, and we get some of the best answers and thoughts from the young people out there. It's something we've started to really like as we have done this a few years now.
Yes, I love that part. It's so awesome.
Again, that was the Aiea High School Na'ali Marching Band. First up, that's 1 down, 13 more to go. This is the OC16 broadcast of the 20th Annual Mililani High School Marching Band Fest. Welcome back. Band number 2 is the Castle High School Marching Band Knights, the band and color guard, and taking their ready positions, just about set to start their performance. And if you see those orange uniforms and you think like, man, that looks like a prison uniform, you are correct.
That's right.
They're doing a theme to Alcatraz, and that's going to be very interesting to see how it unfolds.
The Castle High School Knights Marching Band.
As you hear maybe in the background, Darren Hernandez doing the intro to the people here at the high school stadium. But Demby, this is something that we have a breakdown. You see the numbers, you see the performance.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So Arnold Alcancel is our director, drum major Bronson Sproat, and we have a relatively small band, the second smallest band tonight. But I love this band because they're student-led, a lot of it. So they're really excited to be a part of this wonderful organization.
Over the years, we've learned to discover that they often have a lot of input on the theme, and depending on, of course, the band director, it's a collaboration. The band director probably had the final say, but as you mentioned, Castle High School, one of those ones that incorporates the students into basically the whole aspect of from creation to theme and selecting different aspects.
Exactly. Yeah, so he really values the input of the students. So I'm really excited to see what they're going to come up with tonight.
You see this close shot of the uniforms here. You can see the castle colors, the maroon and gold there. And that's something that's really evolved is the styling of the uniforms. And it seems like more and more it's not just that military style. There's aspect, but there's also nice sort of artistry to it. Now for their formal TV introduction, a man that needs no intro, but we will say his name once more, Darren Hernandez.
The Castle High School Knights Marching Band and Color Guard is under the direction of Mr. Arnold Alcancel and is led by Drum Major Bronson Sproat. The Castle High School Knights Marching Band and Color Guard fields 28 winds, 14 percussionists, and 7 color guard. Their show tonight is Alcatraz, Movement 1, Riot, Movement 2, Solitary, featuring Cade Katsuda and Eric Skonecki in trumpet soloists, and Chelsea Oda, horn soloists, and Movement 3, Escape. Castle High School Knights Marching Band and Color Guard. Are you ready?
Yeah, babe. Right on. Go, guys! Get on!
Castle High School Knights Marching Band and Color Guard, you may take the field in Class A competition.
Dramatic ending for Castle High School, the Marching Knights Band and Color Guard in their performance called Alcatraz, obviously take off of the Rock in there in San Francisco, the infamous or famous prison. But we talked about coming in. Sometimes playing a role is different people, and in this case, it was a former participant that with the experience that really kind of choreographed things.
Exactly. The former color guard instructor who marched with the Blue Coats of DCI created their drill. His name is Jimmy Esquibel, and you saw a lot of fancy footwork there, so he did a really nice job with that.
We saw a lot of play with the bars, obviously, the prison cells and the drama behind that. And the band was sort of the guards. And you saw at the end there if they were going to have their weapons out to stop the escape from happening. It's always interesting to see how they put together a theme and try to transform it to visually get it.
Exactly. So big shout out to the band parents because they are the ones who made the prison bar props. And our color guards are, of course, dressed as inmates in their orange jumpsuits. Depicting the prison of last resort.
I like this at the beginning here. The drum major was up on the platform there, and he kind of gave a fist bump, and then he really kind of got them going, and you see the bars up close. And sometimes when you're in the stands, you can't see the drama that we can see with the cameras.
Exactly. So the drum major, he's really on his own now. The director has left everything in his hands, so it's up to him to really cheer on his fellow band members.
And hey, shout out to the bass section. You really liked the electric bass there. He was great.
He was great, and he really filled out the sound. When you have a smaller band like this, you rely on things like electric bass, and it really made it feel like it was a bigger band.
They're going to take their position off to the side, and eventually they're going to make their way to the far side and sit on the sideline there as they wait performance. Now, we're also ready for our second special interview, and for that, we're going to turn it, we came off of Alcatraz. We're going to send it down to the warden of Mililani High School, the principal, my classmate, Fred Murphy.
Yeah.
It does feel like that sometimes, Dave, but no, Mililani High School is a great place to be, of course. I'm standing here with Bronson. He's a senior and drum major here with the Castle Knights. And then I've got Chelsea here on my right, and she is a French horn player and was a soloist this evening. So we talked a little bit about Castle really valuing the collaboration with the students and your involvement in the design of the show. Let's tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we all have our own opinions, right? So we just have to ask our band director, hey, maybe we can do this, maybe we can do that. And he'll say yes occasionally. But we have a big influence on the whole band since we are the students and it's our show,
Mr. Alkinsell really loves your input, though, and I know that those conversations are really lively. He's a really great guy, huh?
Yeah, he's a really fun guy.
So I also got Chelsea. Chelsea, you are a soloist, and being a soloist, that can be such a nerve-wracking experience. How do you prepare for that?
Well, it takes a lot of practice because I had to practice my solo so many times, and once you practice a lot, you get used to it. So the nerves start disappearing, which is why now I'm so confident in playing the solo.
That's what we really strive for every year. You did a great job out there. Really neat show, the Alcatraz theme there. Of course, high schools are not at all like prisons. We just play them on show night, Back to you guys up in the booth.
I'm sure Fred's superintendent is not watching it all and heard those comments. But no, again, what a great theme and a popular thing that we all know about and transforming it from music and marching into what we saw tonight. But you wanted to give a shout out?
A big shout out because it does take a village. So we'd like to say thank you again to the band parents known as the Castle Band Aid Association. Isn't that a great name?
It is. Band Aid.
Band Aid.
Coming up, the Farrington Governors Marching Band. They are next on the 20th annual Mililani High School Marching Band Fest. Welcome back to Mililani High School, John Kamehameha Stadium, a site for the 20th annual Mililani Marching Band Fest. Taking the field right now is the Farrington Governors Marching Band. Nice, still in the single A division as far as competition, and see some of the crowd here. And this is just going to get bigger as the night goes, and they're not going to go anywhere because once you get a seat, you better not get up.
Exactly. It won't be there when you get back. Maybe my mom's there. Do you see my mom?
I think your mom was kind of in the middle. There she is, right at the top. Right behind the box.
She's
there.
texting me.
Yes. Now let's get this started. And for Farrington's official introduction, we turn it over to Mr. Darren Hernandez.
The Farrington High School Governors Marching Band, under the direction of Mr. Charlie Regua, is led by Drum Major Royan Santo. The Farrington High School Governors Marching Band fields 33 winds, 11 percussionists, and 14 color guard. Their show tonight is Sometimes it snows in April. Movement 1, The Revolution. Nikki, Noel Medina, trombone soloist. 1999, Stormy Hashimoto, trumpet soloist. Anna Pua'ala, baritone soloist. And Noah Davis, trombone soloist. Movement 2, The New Power Generation. The City, Ardeen Nicholas, tuba soloist. Doves, Corvette 7. Movement 3, Diamonds and Pearls. Kiss, Joshua Geralba, trumpet soloist. Royanne Santo and Joanna Ramirez, guard duet. Crazy, guard feature. Rain, Joshua Geralba, horn soloist, and Chelsea Barayuga, trumpet soloist. Movement 4, Party Like It's 1999. Endorphin, For You, I Am a Start, April Snow. Drum major, is your band ready? Farrington High School Governor's Marching Band, you may take the field in Class A competition.
Okay, that was dramatic. We weren't quite sure if they were done, and that was a different way to come off. It was unique.
Very unique how they ended that, and also the way that they threw the flags and then just didn't catch them. That was very unique. Usually you try not to do that, but that was really effective.
That, again, was the Farrington Governor's Marching Band, basically an amalgamation of Prince songs through the different years. Of course, Prince passing away recently, and this was sort of an ode to him.
Yes, a tribute to him. Mr. Charlie Rigua, he was a huge Prince fan, and he grieved for 2 days after Prince passed away in April and wrote this entire show, the music and all the drills.
And that's one of the things about band that's great. You pour your heart and soul into it, and as did the young people. I'm sure they're familiar with Prince's more recent stuff, but this was a way for Charlie to do something about it, and it became a great performance.
It did, yes. And he said now the students love all of Prince's music. He was so innovative and independent.
Talk about this. She's not just the drum major, but she is also
the color guard captain and the band secretary, and she can do the splits. I mean, she's my hero.
And then Prince here had the horn there, but he also, if you see on a sling there, his trumpet. So he had multi-roles.
This is Joshua Jaralba, and he also is incredibly amazing, dressed as Prince, changing embouchures halfway. Not an easy thing to do. It's very difficult. And he has solos, trumpet and horn.
And then when he was with us, Prince was exactly that. Did many different roles and performances, could play all the instruments. So good job from Farrington there with a sort of a tribute to Prince and everything that incorporated. Great job there. And again, all from basically the iPod of Charlie.
Exactly. Isn't that amazing?
They're going to make their way off to the stands, but one member will not be going to the stands just quite yet because they are going to be interviewed by Fred Murphy. Fred, who you got?
I got Royan Santo here. She is a senior and drum major and color guard member of the Farrington Governor's Band here. Talk to us a little bit about that theme. It's a little heavy, and I hear the inspiration really came from your director.
Well, initially we had a different show planned, but our director really idolized Prince, and when he learned about his passing, he completely changed the show and rewrote the music. So, yeah, that's why we got that one.
Wow. So when you have Prince music, I mean, you were born way after most of this music was written. How did you study it and connect with it?
Well, a lot of us didn't really know any of his music other than the really popular ones, but I kind of started out not really liking Prince music itself, but when you play it and you listen to it with the band, it's a lot more enjoyable, so I've learned to love it.
You did a lot of double duty here tonight, so color guard and the podium work, was that difficult for you?
Nope. Well, we have our little exec board, which is our group of leaders in the band, so they really took a big role in helping to sort out the band, and we have really great leaders in our band, so it wasn't hard for me.
Really emotional show. We connected with it. We were rocking it out in the booth up there. I'm sure they were dancing, and I'm really proud of your performance tonight. Hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good night. All right. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Fred. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here tonight to get through this thing called Bandfest.
Yes.
But another thing you wanted to point out, Denby, about Farrington doing this, they had a number of difficulties practicing their performances.
Yes, I mean, you couldn't tell, but just so you all know at home, they had a new band field, but they practiced the same time as the football team, so they had to actually practice on a separate, smaller field, and that's why they had to shrink their show between the 30-yard lines.
The good thing about that, Farrington High School getting their brand new field put into place. They'll have their stadium, everything completed by next football season. That, again, was the Farrington Governor's Marching Band, but we're not done. We're just getting started. This is the Waipahu High School Marauder Marching Band and Color Guard. They are up next on OC 16. Welcome back to Mililani High School and the 20th annual Mililani Trojan Marching Band Fest. And getting hyped up is the Waipahu High School Marauders Marching Band and Color Guard. And this is how they do it, sometimes coming onto the field in different ways. But this way, they're up on the field and they're getting their pumped up message from their drum major as they get ready to take their positions. We see some face paint going on there, Denby. So this tells me it is going to be very dramatic.
It is. This is actually a story about a girl having nightmares about a persistent demoness.
So again, it's very lighthearted things that we're talking about here.
Feel good stuff, you know?
I see. We'll see how they transform that theme into both visual and musicality on this broadcast here. Again, this is the Waipahu High School Marauders Marching Band in color guard, 37 wind, 13 percussion, 13 in the color guard as they get their final positions. And there's an encouraging message, as we know that this is a lighthearted theme. Sleep tight. I don't know about this one, but I do know it's going to be pretty awesome.
That's the title of this show. It's going to be fantastic. Oh.
And to get things started, let's turn it over to Mr. Darren Hernandez.
Okay, so I go.
Yeah, this is the intro. Thank you.
The Waipahu High School Marauders Marching Band, under the direction of Mr. Henry Fu and Assistant Director Aaron Schultz, is led by Drum Major Jake Arista. The Waipahu High School Marauders Marching Band fields 37 winds, 13 percussionists, and 13 color guard. Their show tonight is Sleep Tight, Movement 1, Pure Imagination, Hut of Baba Yaga, John Angos, baritone soloist, Aiea Takahashi, trumpet soloist. Movement 2, Mars. Movement 3, Danzin Macabre, percussion feature. Movement 4, Dreamed a Dream, Alicia Liano and Alana Martinez, flugelhorn duet. Aiea Takahashi and Kanai Fu, trumpet duet. Drum major, is your band ready? Waipahu High School Marauders Marching Band, you may take the field in Class A competition.
Now that was impressive on a number of different levels. Great theme, and I know you weren't going to talk about that, but I want to point out that this is actually only their second year of having a marching band. They may have had bands playing at football games, but to be on the field doing a performance, this is something new.
This is something new, yes. So their veterans have really only been marching for 2 years, and they did a really awesome job. I don't think you can tell that they've only been marching for 2 years, or sometimes even 1.
And some very elaborate things, some very difficult things to pull off. I know you were going through your notes to point out some things.
Yes, so a lot of wonderful marching and maneuvering, a lot of tricky steps that they were doing. And then the music was so beautiful. Mr. Fu incorporated a lot of dream songs from different productions or musicals, and they ended with Castle on a Cloud and also I Dreamed a Dream from Les Mis.
So we thought it was going to be a little bit darker than it was, but in the end, it all came together. And again, you said it tied together. It was basically dreams from different songs and performances, all kind of stitched together to put that thing together. And it was just wonderful. I know Waipahu High School Resurgence, their football team did a lot of good this year, as far as a lot of good going on at that high school, not just the marching band, but also in sports and other things. A lot of good teachers there. I know some people, so I just shout out to them. As you see them exit the field, we'll show you some highlights from their performance tonight. And here they were throwing some powder. Is that what put you to sleep, Debbie? Some sleeping dust?
No, it was all the carbs we have in here.
But this was interesting, starting off almost with a solo. Not always the norm, but this was very solid.
It was a solid solo. Such a beautiful song. Pure imagination.
See the trumpet here playing it?
Yes.
And you see the face paint, again, that sort of nightmare, dreamish kind of world. And this was the battle that you were talking about.
Right, the battle between the girl and also the persistent demoness. She's battling for good sleep.
And it was just something dramatic. But you know what?
What?
Help is a good mattress, so you know.
That's true.
But for more on that and not putting us to sleep is the guy that has the VIP interviews down on the field, Fred Murphy.
No, I'm not putting you to sleep. I'm also really excited to be interviewing 2 great students from Waipahu High School. I've got Jake Arista here. He's a senior and a drum major. And to my left is Diane Manzana. She's a president of the band. Jake, tell us a little bit about your second year. This is a full-fledged show. You got the front-end ensemble plus the on-field percussion group. You got a full marching band and a wonderful color guard. What kind of training was involved for this?
First off, I would like to say thank you to our #1 supporter, Mr. Keith Hayashi, our principal at Waipahu High School. He has been a great supporter, and I believe that without his help, we couldn't have gotten this far. So, yeah, Mr. Hayashi, thank you a lot.
Principals work hard to support their bands. Good political move there. But tell me again about the training that's involved to make sure all the elements happen on the field.
So in the beginning, we actually so most of our students, they don't know how to march in the beginning, so we teach them how to march. So first the marching and then the playing. So,
Roosevelt High School.
oh God, sorry, I'm like recalling all the moments.
It's hard right after you've done a performance to think about and to think straight, but you guys did a great job. Okay, so you've got one of the toughest instruments to march with. People don't realize the baritone is the hardest instrument. Why don't you just show everybody how big this instrument is? Okay, so you think it looks like a trumpet, but it's really heavy.
Yeah, it's like half my size, but the baritone actually took me a while to get used to it. I started out on one of the lacquered ones, and I switched to this silver one, and this one's a lot more lighter than the other ones, but it took me a while to build up the arm strength, and it's a wonderful instrument. I just love playing it, and sometimes I don't even think about the weight.
So in concert band, you'll see these sort of like mini tubas, and people will cradle them and they'll hold them like this. But they turn it into a trumpet kind of formation in marching band, which means all the weight gets carried up in front of your body. And you can see that this young lady does it well. Good job tonight. Great job on your performance. Thank you so much. Hope to see you guys next year. Okay. Thank you, guys. Back up to you in the booth.
Congratulations to the Waipahu High School Marauders Marching Band and Color Guard. Again, just their second year of competition. And they want to do some shout-outs, Denby.
They're so fantastic. They want to shout out to their parent alumni volunteers led by Booster President Elsid Zamora and, of course, their principal, Keith Hayashi, for all of their support.
They had the look of a much more veteran band, and they did well, and they should be proud of their performance. They're going to sleep well tonight. I guarantee you
Absolutely.
that after that performance that they put on. Next up, Roosevelt High School. Extra cheering from Denby. She's a Rough Rider, and they're coming up next on OC 16. All right, a high school down on the field right now that Denby is very near and dear to your heart. This is the Roosevelt Rough Rider Marching Band and Color Guard. And let's go back to the late 90s.
Oh, wow.
Early 2000s. Is that better? I think it's late 90s.
Tis with hearts full of pride, dear alma mater.
But, I mean, when you see your school, your alma mater, you were a drum major for the marching band. What type of memories does this bring back?
Oh, well, my sisters and I were all drum majors, and we're all members of the marching band. 4 years each. Our parents were band boosters and band booster presidents, so they were there for 10 consecutive years. And they're our boosters. We can't do it without you guys. Woohoo! Shout out to them.
And you can't tell me they're not into it. Look, they got into the... I mean, this is really getting into the theme. And if you haven't guessed, we're going to have sort of a martial arts, a Bushido type of theme is going to be their performance tonight as they get into their ready positions. But again, it seems like those ties that bind, no matter how many years ago it was, can take you back to those memories and just what being in the collective group really meant. And that's, I think, the relationships that you'll remember for a lifetime.
Exactly. It was one of the most wonderful years of my life. I really enjoyed playing in the marching band and being drum major. Just the camaraderie and the friendships last a lifetime.
And as they get some encouragement from the fans in the stands, let's get their proper TV introduction. And for that, it's back over to Mr. Darren Hernandez.
The Roosevelt High School Rough Riders Marching Band and Color Guard, under the direction of Mr. Greg Abe and Assistant Director Casey Kitano, is led by Drum Major Joshua Morita. The Roosevelt High School Rough Riders Marching Band and Color Guard fields 36 winds, 15 percussionists, and 12 color guard. Their show tonight is Bushido, the Way of the Warrior. Movement 1, Gi, You, Courage. Movement 2, May Yo, Honor. Movement 3, Zen, Meditation. Crystal Cathcart, violin soloist. Brian Kitsu, cello soloist. Movement 4, Jin, Re, Respect. Drum major, is your band ready? Roosevelt High School Rough Riders Marching Band and Color Guard, you may take the field in Class A competition.
Tell you what, Roosevelt always brings a solid performance, both in what they show on the field. The sound was great, and you really like the color guard.
Oh, the color guard is always incredible. They always are so poised and graceful, and they really add a wonderful visual element to the show.
And they tied this theme about Bushido, about all the honor and codes that go in. They also dedicated it to somebody out there that passed away.
Right, they dedicated it to Soya, a young man who succumbed to cancer earlier this year. And if you notice, the center banner is Soya's name.
That'd be on the far side, 50-yard line, seeing a picture of it right there. But that is, they weave in so many things into it that you can't pick it up at all unless you really are a part of the performance. Right. Here, the sakura, the cherry blossom on the upper corner of the color guard's face.
Right, all the color guard wants to be fierce, but they also wear sakura on their faces to show that what they really want in war is peace. So graceful.
And then sort of the modern meeting the ancient theme here, the electric cello.
This I thought was just so incredibly beautiful with the cello and the violin, the electric ones. Very rarely do you ever see this in a marching band, but it brought such a beautiful hunting element to the show.
And it's nice that this year it's dry because last year there was a lot of rain with the electronics. Of course, that would be a problem, but that was really good. And then that little subtle movement you really like, bringing the fan out of the pocket.
Ah, so exciting. They were all hiding yellow fans and they all hit it together at the same time. Very effective visually.
Again, all these layers, small things, themes, all brought together. A wonderful performance by the Roosevelt High School Rough Rider Marching Band and Color Guard, which, again, if you weren't listening to earlier, is your alma mater.
Yes, it is. I'm so proud. So proud.
Of course, yourself and Fred chose to be music educators, and you've kept that up with the Royal Hawaiian Band. And Fred was a longtime music teacher here at Mililani High School, now is the principal here at the high school. But it's amazing what the lessons, again, you learn from that time serve you well in life.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everyone thinks maybe it's just, marching and maneuvering, but it's not. You're learning dedication, pride, commitment, responsibility. You have to take care of your instrument, and also teamwork. You need to work together, and you can see the result is incredible. These are memories that'll last a lifetime for sure.
We see Fred getting ready down on the field for his special guest. He'll be ready in just a second here. But again, we're still trying to get exactly when Denby was at Roosevelt High School.
Why don't you tell everyone when you were in high school? I can tell you for sure
that in the mid-'80s, this guy down on the field, he took care of business with a rifle. Mr. Fred Murphy, take it, Fred.
Why do we have to keep going back to our age on all of these jokes? But anyhow, I'm here with Mio and Christine. They are both seniors and both baritone players. We're having a plethora of baritone players tonight. Hey, Mio, talk to me a little bit about what it takes. You've been here for 4 years as a member of this band. What does it take to put on a field show like that?
To put on a field show, we all have to contribute with our own hard work and effort and make sacrifices and always come to practice and always follow Abe because he's always right.
Always follow Abe because he's always right. Got that, Denby? Hey, the time and effort, there's sacrifice involved. Tell me a little bit about that.
Sacrifices, well, such as hanging out with my friends, studying for school, which I make time for. But then I always have my friends in marching bands, so that's not a sacrifice.
Right. It doesn't feel like a sacrifice when you're surrounded by your friends. Okay, so we're surrounded by those friends. We go through this great experience, and it means something. What has it prepared you for when you leave high school?
Marching band prepares you for a lot in life. It definitely teaches you about commitment and dedication as we spend all this time, as we said before. Therefore, you learn a lot about those skills. And it also gives you a new perspective because you get all these new people spending so many times with, or you spend so much time with them and you create another bond with them, another family bond with the entire band, in fact. So that helps you keep that forever. You never lose that kind of.
Well said, well said. That's why we do this. That's why we do what we do, why the directors work so hard and the kids work so hard. But let's talk a little bit about not working so hard. Let me show you what happens up there in the booth. This is the food that Dave and Denby are taunting me with, and they're saying they're going to eat all of it, and I get none of it. I think it's not very fair, but it's going to go to their hips, so that's fine. Back to you guys up in the booth.
Hashtag hater. That's what we're putting on Facebook. Hater to Fred Murphy out there.
Poor guy, no carbs for him.
No carbs for Fred. But
They're delicious.
It was a great performance. And you know what? We're going to have Fred track down Mr. Abe to find out his thoughts on Denby and her time at Roosevelt. But again,
we don't have time for that.
You heard the young people talk about the relationships and everything.
Yes.
And that, at the end of the day, is what it's really all about. Great performance. But I tell you what, years from now, it's the relationships and friendships that are going to matter.
Absolutely. That is exactly what you said. Those things you take with you forever. And friendship that lasts a lifetime. And memories that last a lifetime as well.
Lifetime of memories. Next up will be one of the newest high schools in the state, especially on Oahu, the Kapolei Hurricane Marching Band. They're going to be up next. And I tell you what, Darren Hernandez is going to say their name a little bit extra special on OC 16. Welcome back to Mililani High School in the 20th annual Mililani High School Marching Band Fest. Taking the field and getting their last ready positions is the Kapolei Hurricanes Marching Band. They're just about ready to go. Their theme is going to be the Jewel and the Dragon. And I tell you what, this is one school that definitely has a lot of help from the parents, and it's going to be neat to see how this unfolds. And further introduction, and I know saying their name with extra verve, is Mr. Darren Hernandez.
The Kapolei High School Hurricane Marching Band is under the direction of Mr. Alan Salvador and Assistant Director Jenna Eggering, and is led by Drum Major Ethan Garrido. The Kapolei High School Hurricane Marching Band fields 45 winds, 9 percussionists, and 17 color guard. Their show tonight is the Jewel and the Dragon, Movement 1, the Old Festival, Aiea Lauderdale Soloist. Movement 2, the Heroes of the Kingdom, Justin Gacula and Akello Stallings Soloists. Movement 3, the Prayer, Kiana Paulino and Alyssa Eva Soloists. Movement 4, the Dragon Triumph. Drum Major, is your band ready? Kapolei High School Hurricane Marching Band, you may take the field in Class A competition.
Well, now we know the answer. Kapolei's band got the jewel back from the dragon. That's what the last bit was, defeating the dragon and then getting the jewel as they come back together at the middle of the 50-yard line.
Well, the dragon stole it, so they had to recover it.
Well, that's not right.
Medieval-themed show.
Kapolei always has great props, and I know you were talking about that before, that means you have to have a lot of volunteers, a lot of parents, and people to put those things together because the students really are concentrating on music and their choreography and everything else going on. So you need that support staff to pull off an elaborate performance like this.
Exactly. I mean, you can look right now, you see all the wonderful volunteers and the parents who make this possible. It really does take a village, like we said before. You need wonderful support. And Alan Salvador, the director, gives a shout out to his students. He said that he could not be more proud of your dedication and hard work. And he says, last time, best time. That's his inspirational quote to them.
Last time is the best time, and that was a great performance as always. And we don't say that just because, but every school that comes out here really does give it their all and they deliver a great performance. But before we get to our next school, we're going to get down to our VIP interview, and for that, we send it down to Fred.
All right. Right now, I am here with Ethan Guerrero. Just trying to get his name straight. We did a little bit of a quick change of interviewees. Ethan, it's a very physical show. The Kapolei Band is always known for the demand on the marching. How tired are you?
I am very tired. I think everyone is very tired because they're putting their full effort.
Yeah. You know, they do a really technical show, too. If you could not tell, those Celtic Irish tunes, those fingers are moving. There's a lot of breath and a lot of articulation. How much effort does that take to do that kind of marching and that kind of playing?
It requires a lot. It requires a lot of focus. It requires a lot of just concentration.
So, okay, one of the great things about the Kapolei Band has been the props. And I know that the people who put them together were your parents this year, I believe, and you had a lot of help with that. How did it feel when you got those props out there on the field?
It's just really, I'm really proud of everything that we've accomplished so far and that it's us, all the students and all the family just working together. It's really special.
It really is. You know, all of that effort really pays off. It's been a tremendous season. Thank you very much for an entertaining show, and you have a great rest of your year. Aloha. Back to you guys in the booth.
A great job from Kapolei, and always a fun performance when we see them. Very theatrical, very much a fun thing to watch.
Yeah, they're always running on the field. They have so much great energy. I just love Kapolei. They're so fantastic.
See the beginning, that's the jewel being taken by the dragon back into his lair, as it were, and that's how they started it off. And again, just wonderful mixing of props and the music and the formations. And the thing about it is you don't always get to see certain elements like this close up, so that's kind of fun to see it on TV.
It is. I mean, the dragon there, you can tell that it took so much work to create it, and the parent volunteers are there helping to make this magic happen.
And we talked about having fun. We're having fun here. We hope you, watching the broadcast, are having fun out there. And on the last VIP interview, Fred Wells, he kind of went behind the scenes and spilled the secret that we've got food up here in the booth while he's suffering down on the field. But evidently, Fred is not suffering as much as we thought. He's got his own private... As we try to get the right angle there, Fred has plenty of food and things going on. So, Fred, we've got cameras up here in the booth. You're watching the OC16 presentation of the 20th Annual Mililani High School Trojan Marching Bandfest. That was Kapolei, the Hurricane Marching Band, doing their thing on the field. And coming up next, this is going to be a great performance. Iolani Marching Band and Company is coming up next on OC16. Welcome back to John Kamehameha Stadium at Mililani High School and the 20th Annual Mililani High School Trojan Marching Band Fest. You are seeing in their ready position the Iolani Raider Marching Band, and they are another one that always brings an elaborate performance. They usually have dancing involved. Drill team is usually involved with it, and this is going to be another wonderful performance. And before we let them stand there any longer, let's get their introduction done. And for that, we turn it over to, again, Darren Hernandez.
The Iolani Raiders Marching Band and Dance Team, under the direction of Mr. Manny Dayao and Assistant Director Lynn Muramaru, is led by Drum Major Kelsey Ann Kimura and Catherine Johnson. The Iolani Raiders Marching Band and Dance Team fields 45 winds, 13 percussionists, and 100 color guard. Their show tonight is We're Off to See the Wizard, Movement 1, The Wizard of Oz, Ding Dong, the witch is dead. We're off to see the wizard, merry old land of Oz. Movement 2, Glenda and Dorothy, For Good from Wicked, and Over the Rainbow from the Wizard of Oz. And movement 3, The Wizard of Oz meets the Wiz. So you wanted to see the wizard and a brand new day. Drum major, is your band ready? Iolani Raiders marching band and dance team, you may take the field in Class A competition.
Tell you what, Demby, Iolani may be the best at combining performance art, the dance aspect, along with the marching band and integrating it into one show. And I tell you, it's with that Iolani dance team, 100 members plus, numerous award-winning things that they do. What a great combination.
They were fantastic. I love watching the little kids. There were 2 boys on the dance team. That was fantastic. And also the older girls. And they also twirled flags in the end. I don't think I've seen them do that before.
That's something you pointed out. They didn't have a traditional color guard aspect. It was a combination of the dancers becoming that role in it. And then kudos to the band members themselves. Great sounding music, tight formations, putting it all together, again, for a performance art piece. And let's look at some of the highlights from here. And this is what, Denby?
This is the thunder sheet. It represents the sound of the tornado, you know, the one that uplifted the house and smashed one of the wicked witches.
That was the quick change you were talking about, and that's how it's done. You don't always see it up close, but our cameras catch it.
There's a tornado, and she becomes, ta-da, Dorothy.
You like the theatrics, don't you?
What makes you say that? Look, the ruby slippers. How fantastic.
And these are just big symbolic things that tie the performance together for anybody that knows anything about that.
Right, and there were 3 different types of Wizard of Oz type songs that they used. Wizard of Oz, of course, The Wiz, the one that was Michael Jackson was in, and of course Wicked, which tells the story from the Wicked Witch's point of view.
And as they take their props and themselves off the field, we have our next VIP interview. And for that, once again, let's go down to the field and Fred.
All right, guys, I've got Taylor and Joshua, 2 members of the Iolani band and dance team here. Okay, so tell us a little bit about what it's like to be the star of the show. You're Dorothy this year.
Well, it's really fun, and something really special about it is also that I get to be with all my teammates, and it really just makes me happy to be dancing with everyone. And also something different this year was we were able to bring the little ones to the performance, which was really fun, and work together as one team.
So everybody thinks that the dance team just performs with the marching band, but what else do you do throughout the year?
Well, we also perform at halftime basketball games, and also towards the end of the year we do collaborative dance showcases, which is something that's also fun as well.
And beautiful, I would imagine. That's great. So now I got Josh here. He is one of the band. He's a trombone section leader. You had something new to your training regime this year. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So earlier in the summer, our band director, Mr. Diao, took us out to these band conditioning practices, and he had the idea of building up our endurance in order to maintain a strong finish at the end of our show. And we can definitely feel the difference and hopefully hear the difference for the audience. But it was hard work, but in the end, it really helped make our show what it was.
Fitness is all a part of this activity. You need to make sure that you can be mentally tough and physically able to handle the whole show. Thank you so much for all that you guys did. It was a great show. Hope you enjoyed performing it as much as we enjoyed watching it. Good luck to you for the rest of the year, and back to you guys up in the booth.
I say once again, it is art meeting sports because of what they got to put in as far as practice and conditioning to pull this type of thing off.
It is extremely physical. As you see, the students are marching, they're maneuvering, they're playing their instruments. They have to be physically fit in order to be able to accomplish all of these things. And they're dancing a lot more than they've ever done before.
And a very popular theme, very relatable to the audience watching them. Good job, Iolani Raiders, marching band, and Iolani dance team. Stay tuned. Radford High School, they're up next. Welcome back. 20th Annual Mililani High School Trojan Marching Band Fest here at John Kamehameha Stadium. Dave Vinton up here in the booth, Demby Dung along with me in the booth, and down on the field, Fred Murphy. Fred off getting some more food as he tries to go to the snack bar. But just about ready to go will be the Radford High School Red Brigade. And I just, when you think of bands, the military aspect always comes into play. And Radford, of course, being close to Pearl Harbor, service a lot of military families there. Yes. And it's interesting that they can have continuity or sometimes lack of as far as the students, because they're there maybe 2 years, not a lot of always going from freshman to senior.
Right. Sometimes leaving in the middle of the year. So they have to be very flexible. A lot of these students have to learn several different parts in order to make this entire program work.
The transfer of in and out of the military, and we obviously say thank you to our armed services out there as this Memorial Day, Veteran Day weekend, I should say.
Exactly.
But again, in sports, we see this all the time on OC16, that for the coaches in the sports, keeping it all together is tough. And it's the same thing for the band as far as trying to put together a performance that could have, as we always say, starts in maybe May, June of the previous year, and then it kind of carries forward. And if those people transfer out, you gotta fill holes.
Exactly. Yes, one person is missing. It makes a huge difference in the band and the performance. So these students really have to work hard to make sure that they can fill those holes. And sometimes it's a spacing thing. Musicians have to change out instruments sometimes. So they really make it work.
We get to see via the close-up lens here some of the faces and reactions. What's going through their heads right now? I'm trying to read the emotions behind the faces. Take me back. What do you think they're thinking right at this point?
Well, this is their last performance of the season, and you're right, they started sometime in May last summer, and all of this hard work, the culmination of all of it coming together in this last performance, really giving it their all and leaving everything on the field. They're trying to focus, maybe think through the performance in their head right now, and figure out how they're going to give the performance of their life, especially for the seniors. If this is their last performance, their last year.
They're on TV. They know the judges are up in the booth judging them on what they do, but yet still having some fun. And that's the resiliency of being a teenager, I think. And I think something that's maybe changed from years past when Fred and I were in marching band, you pretty much were set to go. But here, you kind of stage everything, and then you kind of give the thumbs up.
Right. Especially being on TV, right? We have to time everything correctly. So right now is the time where they're all getting riled up for this.
And it looks like all the props are set. They're in their ready positions. And now, not to put any pressure on them, but we will, we're going to get their intro with Darren Hernandez.
The Radford High School Red Brigade Marching Band, under the direction of Mrs. Nicole Sherlock and assistant directors Corey Allen, Aaron Tabali, and Jordan Belez, is led by drum major Carl Villarreal and field commander Emily Davis. The Radford High School Red Brigade Marching Band fields 41 winds, 17 percussionists, and 9 color guard. Their show tonight is Something Wicked This Way Comes. Movement 1, Evil Train, arrives in late October. Movement 2, Mirror Maze, soloists Michael Montoya, Blaine Viavong, Garrett McNutt, and Braden Lane. Movement 3, Age Reversing Carousel and Carnival Collapse. Drum major, is your band ready? Radford High School Red Brigade Marching Band, you may take the field in Class A competition.
Precision, musicality, and performance. That's what you expect from the Red Brigade. That is Radford High School finishing up and taking their equipment off the field, but a very deep theme for this one that they had.
Yes, the title was Something Wicked This Way Comes, and it's based on a novel about an evil carnival that comes to town and feeds on the desires of the townspeople, so you can see their costumes really reflect that.
I thought their use of those little mini stages was a great way to accent the carnival director guy, the evil central figure, and he was wonderful throughout the performance, going around, and he really tied all of the elements together.
He did, yes, and also his hair and makeup and his movement really brought the feeling of the carnival to life.
Had the tent where the trumpets came out of. They were staged there beforehand. It was a nice performance. A lot of rich elements there putting together this theme, and they really carried it through from beginning to end. Let's take a look at some of the highlights here, and this is something you like right from the get-go. That's where he had it.
So dramatic. I love that he brought his baton out from behind him. Could be dangerous, but he did a good job. And it's something rare that you don't really normally see a baton in marching bands.
And the pit.
Oh my God.
Love the pit.
I'm so into them. They're so fantastic. Look at how in sync they are with each other, with the drum major, with the musicians. They're fantastic.
And flags tying it all together, the color guard in the theme of what it was, the carnival aspect.
Yes. So exciting, so wonderful, colorful, exciting. Brought this music to life.
And now they are as basic little humans again. But before we let them go, we've got at least one of their members for the VIP interview, and let's go down to Fred for that right now. Fred.
The VIP interview. I'm liking that. That's kind of cool. So I got Emily and I got Carl. Emily's a field commander, and Carl, of course, is the drum major for the Radford Red Brigade Marching Band. Tell us about what a field commander is, Emily.
So the field commander is responsible for conducting at times when the marchers can't see the normal drum major. So you'll see me a lot running back and forth between the backside line.
Because you can hold that piccolo up there. Emily also plays the piccolo in between conducting responsibilities. Emily, tell us a little bit about what it's like to develop a family sense with a school that has people who come in and come out.
Yeah, our population is so transient. It can be really hard at times for us to really develop a style. So we depend on our practices weekly, and we have a lot of bondings to get to know each other.
It's part of the best part about being in the band, right, is all the bonding that happens. Now, Carl, you're the drum major. You're out there on the podium. And at the beginning, if you didn't catch that, you pulled out the baton. You wanted to emphasize something with pulling that baton out.
Yeah, sure. So all of this show is really dark, and it has a lot of energy. And part of me pulling out the baton is, we have to get hyped with the show somehow. So me pulling out the baton is some way to have the members just have a little more hype just before we begin.
You'll notice, I think, almost all of the 14 other bands conduct with their hands, but you conduct with a baton, and that's to emphasize, of course, that you are directing this group and that you're a classical conductor up there on the podium. But I'm going to ask you about an awkward nickname that I don't quite know what that means yet. So they call you Moo?
Yeah, so at the end of summer band camp, we had these skits to, strengthen our bonds with the members. And part of that skit, I dressed up as a cow, and I acted as a cow for most of them.
Why?
Just to fit in with the theme.
It doesn't really matter, right? As long as you got a smile out of the band members, got everybody to be happy, you'll be called Moo, and you don't care because you want your band to be together, and that's really what all that matters, right?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. So Moo to you, and that's fantastic. I don't know, guys. Moo, back to you up in the podium.
Fred, you missed the whole point. He did it because it's very moving.
Oh, I have a joke.
Let's see what I did.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting.
Moo.
All right.
Yeah.
I think it's time for a break. When we come back, we're going to take you inside how all of this comes together and putting it together. You're watching the Mililani Marching Bandfest on OC 16. Welcome back. It's basically halftime here at the Mililani High School Trojan Marching Bandfest. Up here in the booth, Dave Vinton, Denby Dung, along with me up here in the booth for the ride. And down on the field is Fred Murphy. And while we transition from the smaller bands to the larger bands, we wanted to take the viewers inside how this all comes together. And I know you and Fred had fun putting together these pieces.
We did. We took the viewer behind the scenes to show exactly how difficult it is to create a marching band show like this. You're not just looking at, is that line crooked? No, this goes way back to May last summer. and it shows you exactly what they had to do to build this show from scratch.
And first up, the video piece is going to be about how all the choreography comes together, and it's called Mapping, and it's a dot book. And watch this piece, and we'll get a little insight.
I'm here with Kaylee, and she is a junior in the Trojan Marching Band and a saxophonist, and she's going to teach us what it's like to learn a marching band show from the very beginning.
Okay, so here at the Trojan Marching Band, we get these things called coordinate sheets, and basically it's a personalized sheet with all your coordinates on the field, and it gives you each coordinate, but more importantly, we each have these things that we call dot books because each of us have a different spot. So in our dot book, we have the front page, which would basically just be like all of our visual notes. So it would have each and every coordinate that we have on the field, and it would have a picture of the form and the visual notes. So like for example in this one, the X would represent where I am, and then it would show where I am in relation to the yard line, in relation to the hash. And then also on the back of the sheets we have our musical notes, so we actually copy and paste the music straight from the music and put it into our dot books. And we also have like little musical cues where we might have to like highlight certain parts, and yeah, that's basically it.
And do you know what you look like on the field?
Yeah, actually our director here, he videotapes every rehearsal and he posts it on our Google Classroom. And I think that's really important because the best way to fix our show is by visualizing it. And there's no better way to visualize it than by watching the actual video itself. So it's really eye-opening to see what we look like when we're performing.
Is it a lot different from what you thought you'd look like?
Yes, very.
Thanks, Kaylee.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful on what how explaining it. Basically a map of the performance, interlaying it with the music to put it all together. That was a good piece. It's a lot that goes into it.
There was,
well, she did more of the work than you, but you did a good job as well.
Sorry, I took all the compliments. Thank you, Kaylee.
But that just shows you how far and how much goes into these performances. And I know Fred is with us down there on the field. Fred, when we were in band, you didn't have this video feedback. You weren't reviewing your performances. You were really just, what we did in practice, that was it.
Yeah, that was it. You know, your vantage point was whatever you saw that guy pointing at and whatever they told you. But all of that individual preparation is super important, and being able to internalize the show and know what it is that you look like and all of that extra time amounts to a whole lot better production.
For our next Inside Access piece, we're going to take you inside the color guard and riflery. And I tell you what, we've got an expert on that, and that's that guy Fred right there. So let's see how Fred did with the rifle skills.
All right, so now I'm with the weapons. We used to call it the rifle section. They call it the weapons section. It's part of the color guard. Now, when you think of color guard, you might also think about military tattoos and the ceremonies that you might see with the American flag surrounded by two riflemen. They might be doing manual arms techniques and that kind of stuff. Things that you're used to seeing. Simple spins, solid catches, aerials, maybe. But anyway, so what you're going to see here is a whole lot more interesting. You have multiple planes at work. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and out. All right, so like the weaponry work, color guard for the flags has also changed dramatically over the years. It used to be a lot of straight bodies, holding the flags here at attention, drop spins that would stop when they came back up, simple movements that would have angles, up and down skills, forward skills. That is really simple, but what it's become is a whole lot more artful and fun. All right, so this is Akoni. He is a senior and he is a captain for the color guard here. Akoni, this is real wood.
Yes,
it's really painful. I know from experience. So talk to me about your experiences with this stick here.
One time, Susan wanted to put it flat. I tossed it, it hit me right in the nose, and it started bleeding all over the track.
So we get through the pain, we learn how to perform, and we learn how to master the skill. How have you evolved as a player, a performer, and how are you now, and how did you start?
Well, obviously, it takes a lot of time and effort, a lot of motivation and dedication to put into this program. Of course, you're not perfect when you join, so you have to learn, and you learn from all your mistakes and all your peers around you, and it just evolved me as a great performer here today.
So watch Akoni, watch the band, watch the rifles. It's the best section in the band. And remember that
we don't like it when you all count how many times we drop these on the field. Remember that it takes some effort. It's a lot of hard work. So you want to catch my flat?
You can do that?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Okay. Ready? All right. Ready? Woo! Right on. All right.
Yay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wow, Fred.
It helps that Fred's the principal here, so he could sign the waiver in case something happened to a Coney down there. But Fred, I'm going to tell him a real quick story while we have you on camera here. I know for a fact that when we were transitioning from 8th grade to freshman year here at Mililani High School, that really the recruitment for the rifle and the color guard started in 8th grade. The high schoolers would come down, and that's when Fred, who had much more hand-eye coordination than me, went that route. And that's something that I remember to this day as far as where it started.
Wow.
Right. And it does. And, you know, you're an 8th grader in middle school, and you're starting to get all the information about the high school and things you might be interested in. And they hooked me with that darn rifle and have many bruises and scars to prove it, but it was great.
It was really good stuff. And and I hear it serves Fred well to this day. He's walking around campus twirling the rifle.
Scared of
Keeps
you,
the kids in trouble.
No.
But wait, we're not done. There's even more. This one right here. While Fred was a rifle, you were obviously you played the clarinet and other instruments, but your main role, well, one of your favorite roles was as a drum major at Roosevelt High School. So you're going to take us in this next video piece to show us a little bit about what things they control and their responsibilities. So for that, let's go back to the tape.
I'm here with Josh, and he is a senior and the drum major of the Mililani High School Trojan Marching Band. And he is the human metronome and the great leader of this organization. So I don't know if you know, but I was a drum major too at Roosevelt High School. But our podium didn't look this scary. How is it going up there?
It's not too bad, for me at least.
Do you mind if we try and go up there?
Let's go.
Okay, here we go. I'm scared. Okay, I made it. I do want to stay down here, but I guess we should stand. All right, as we stand, oh my God. Can you show us what your conducting stance looks like?
So basically when Dean and I are conducting, we take a shoulder width stance. It's more of like a power stance and says like, look at me, I'm conductor.
Yeah. All right, and can you show us a couple of your different styles?
So during the first movement, our conducting style is a bit more hard. So the ictus and our downbeats will be more like that. Okay. And during our second movement, since things are more like a ballad, the ictus won't be as defined and it will be more smooth. So like this.
And we need to mention, you're doing a beautiful job. We need to mention that this podium is moving the entire time he's conducting. So keeping a great stance posture, having a wonderful ictus, and commanding all this leadership, all while keeping your abs and your core strong. Oh, yeah. Great job, Josh.
Thank you.
Good job, Demby. Good job, Fred. And these are the things that, unless you did it, unless you know, you don't know. And that being up there on the podium, as we see Kamehameha's, one of their drum majors, take position up there, it's really a lot that goes into it. When
there is.
The how you got to carry yourself and how you got to make sure you stay up there and not fall. That platform you said was really...
It was really narrow and it was very wobbly. So we're hoping our viewers at home appreciate what they're going through and what they have to do in order to perform a show at this level.
Well, good job, Demby, again. Fred, good job as well. We'll see if you take any more bruises the rest of the night. But until then, we are ready to go. We've got our next. We're transitioning into the larger bands now. And as you can see from the iconic look of the Kamehameha Warriors marching band here, they are just about ready to go. Their final tweaks on the field there in position as they got all of their staging ready. And they always deliver.
They do. As you're mentioning their uniforms, they actually resemble those of royal guards of the Hawaiian Kingdom. So the white embroidery stitching depicts a mailele design. So it's a beautiful, beautiful uniform.
See the last couple of members getting into their positions, and we see some trees. So I'm intrigued to see how this plays out. And
it's twisted, a take on a haunted forest. So
a lot of Halloween type of things that we had going on. A little dark, but always works out in the end. For their intro, it goes to Darren Hernandez.
The Kamehameha School's Warrior Marching Band and Color Guard, under the direction of Mr. Matthew Kalei Urabe, is led by drum majors Jordine Ching and Nadia Pagdilao. The Kamehameha School's Warrior Marching Band and Color Guard fields 77 wins, 20 percussionists, and 11 color guard. Their show tonight is Twisted. Movement 1, Come Little Children, Once Upon a Dream, Ballad of Sweeney Todd. Movement 2, On Dangerous Ground. Movement 3, The Hymn of Axiom. Movement 4, Firebird. Drum major, is your band ready? Kamehameha School's Warrior Marching Band and Color Guard, you may take the field in Class AA competition.
Children of
Just before we went to this wide shot of the band, we had a close-up of one of the members of the band, and you saw that look of relief in the face. They know they put their heart and soul into it. Great performance. Kamehameha always delivers big time, and that they did again tonight.
Amazing. What a goosebump moment. It was so exciting.
They always glide into their formations. They use that glide step, that really low step, and it's just really smooth.
They do, yes. One of the steps that used often in marching band is called a glide step, and it's heel to toe so that you can play your instrument without bouncing up and down too much. And theirs was spectacular.
Packed house, and they've got a lot of fans up here in the stands under the press box that just loved it as much as anybody else. But let's take a look at some of the highlights. They had some unique things that we wanted to point out. Some acrobatics almost.
Yeah, a lot of dancing, a lot of movement. Their color guard is really involved in the production, putting their heart and soul on the field.
Customization on the drums, that haunted forest.
So these drum heads were designed by Kekiahi Johnson and were made exclusively for Kamehameha by Mark Branson and Remo Drumheads. And the design is a dark, eerie forest.
How cool is that? And then Fred's something near and dear to his heart, the riflery.
Yep, as we saw, it is not easy, and these girls are really bringing it. A huge shout out to Mr. John Riggle and Aristotle Santa Cruz for helping the director, Mr. Urabe, in his path.
And you see how large this band is now that we're in the AA competition. It'll take them a little bit longer to clear the field, and they'll join the other bands that are starting to fill up the far sideline. If we get a shot of that, you can see where after you complete your performance, you go around the track, and you basically kind of sit next to your competition, but it's all a friendly competition.
It's the best part.
And it's the mingling later on is going to be one of the nice things to see, but they're going to take their position, as you see from the camera shot. That will just get more and more filled. Each band is assigned a certain section, and it'll just be completely filled. On our side of the stadium, it is packed. I mean, I don't even know if it's standing room, sitting room only, but if you didn't come, you got to kind of really make friends with the person next to you and wedge yourself in. But it is definitely a packed house here at John Kauinana Stadium. That is just impressive. Family, friends, and they stay here from beginning to end, whether your school went on early or late.
Exactly. And this just shows how many people support these amazing students and really help to make this happen. You really can't do it without support of your family taking you to rehearsals, practices.
It is a testament to the dedication of really everyone involved, from the students to the band directors to the parents that get roped into doing it. But I tell you what, after they're roped, they're hooked.
They're hooked. They never leave. And a lot of the parents and a lot of the boosters don't even have students in the program anymore. They're just continuing to help because they believe in the program so much.
But that was just one of our large bands. We've got a lot more coming up. I see white. I see red. I think Kalani is coming up next. So while they clear the field with the Warriors gear, they're going to be transitioning on the Falcons with their props and everything else. We'll step away for a quick break and come back. Oh, I'm sorry. You know, I forgot about Fred.
How could you?
No, it's easy to...
Oh, you're going to forget about me, huh? Hey, I'm standing here with Jordan and Nadia. They are the drum majors of the Kamehameha Warrior Marching Band and Color Guard. And let's talk a little bit about tradition. When you talk about the Kamehameha Band, you are talking about tradition. And it starts with your uniforms, right?
Yes, definitely. Our uniform is actually modeled after the Royal Guard of Iolani Palace. They're very significant. They're very historical. In fact, they're over 30 years old, and it's really nice to represent such a legacy of all the people who come before us, all of our family. It's really nice.
So, of course, not the original uniforms are 30 years old, but the band's uniform is 30 years old, which is really impressive. It's been a traditional outfit for Kamehameha for all these years, and it's really special. This year was the 40th anniversary of the Kamehameha Tournaments of Bands, and it's the 20th anniversary of the Mililani Trojan Bandfest. So what does it feel like to be a part of that legacy?
Well, for me, it's so amazing to be wearing the same uniforms that our predecessors wore, and also that we are able to be so connected to the people before us.
You know, when you think Kamehameha, you think imua, you think pride, you think ancestry. You know, you guys wear the outfits very, very well. We're super, super excited to have you here yet again. I think you've been a part of every Trojan Bandfest since the inception, and thank you very much for being here. Back to you guys up the booth.
Fred, I was just so caught up in all of that that I just couldn't remember that you were down there. But Fred, that was a great interview. Good job to the Warriors. And as I mentioned, we are into the large band competition. Next up, it's going to be the red and white of Kalani High School, the Falcon Marching Band, performing here at the 20th Mililani High School Trojan Marching Band Fest live. on OC16. Welcome back to Mililani High School and John Kawiana Stadium, site of the 20th annual Mililani High School Trojan Marching Band Fest. Dave Vinton, Demby Dunn. Down on the field, Fred Murphy. And as you see getting to their ready positions, this is the Kalani High School Falcon Marching Band. And for what you would think of a smaller high school on the east side of Oahu, they have a big band, and they deliver big time.
Wow, I really like that statement, Dave. They do indeed. Yes, I love the Kalani band. They always have a clean, effective, beautiful music, beautiful marching. Their show is just really wonderful. So I'm looking forward to see what they have tonight. A mashup, if you will, of all the different types of Wizard of Oz. They call it Osmosis. So,
I see what they did there.
Yeah, you see what they did there.
Osmosis.
Yeah.
And for their introduction now, we turn it over to the voice, Darren Hernandez.
The Kalani High School Falcon Marching Band and Color Guard, under the direction of Mr. Dennis Kaneshiro, is led by Drum Major James Lawn. The Kalani High School Falcon Marching Band and Color Guard fields 78 winds, 20 percussionists, and 7 color guard. Their show tonight is Osmosis. Movement 1, No One Mourns the Wizard, So You Wanted to See the Wizard. Merry Old Land Oz, Dancing Through Life, Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead. Movement 2, Home Over the Rainbow for Good. Tiffany Nakayama, Kobe Gima, Trumpet Solo. Movement 3, Brand New Day, Defying Gravity, Corey Mock, Trombone Solo. Drum Major, is your band ready? Kalani High School Falcon Marching Band and Color Guard, you may take the field in Class AA competition.
Clean, precise, good sound, and great transitions. That's Kalani High School.
Yes, amazing as always. Such an effective performance from start to finish. They always sound so great, and they always look so great. The marching is always perfect.
And also a shout out, family member?
Yes, my cousin Raquel Hernandez. She's a junior and a mellophone player in the band, and I am so proud of her.
Pick her out right now. Where is she?
On the left. The other left.
The other left. But you know, we've seen a lot of Oz theme. It seemed to be popular. And the thing is, they don't compare notes, all these schools. For whatever reason, that's the collective, it's kind of up there in the
it's
consciousness.
popular. And I like that they're blending all the different Oz movies together. The Wiz, Wizard of Oz, and also Wicked.
And let's face it, great title, Osmosis.
Osmosis. Catchy, isn't it?
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Did you catch the witch hat in the beginning?
Right here on
there
the
it is.
highlights. It started out flat, then it goes out to the point of the hat, and that's good with the witch theme here. That makes sense.
Alphabet's hat. The percussion section was really fantastic as well. A lot of fancy footwork.
And that was the legs we saw briefly there as the house came down. And
Right, shout out to the parents for creating this big green wall and also the props in order to put us in the mood for Osmosis.
Demby, I don't care what you say.
Then why are you asking me?
We are not forgetting Fred again. We are going to go down for our VIP interview down on the field. And Fred, you're there. Go.
Go. Okay, I can do that. That's a great toss over, Dave. I'm really enjoying that. All right, so here we go. We got James Lawn. He is a drum major here for the Kalani Falcon Marching Band. And Kalani, as Dave said upstairs, you know, you're really known for cleanliness, precision out there with your marching maneuvering, and your beautiful, beautiful music. Tell us a little bit about some of the things that people can expect out of your shows every year.
Well, every year, we like to have a really big emphasis on the quality of our music and the precision of our marching, like you were saying. We try to stay more traditional, a more traditional band, not really incorporating too much theatrical elements, really stay true to a true marching band, you know, marching and good music.
The purity of the art form, right? Making sure that everybody knows their spot on the field and everybody knows how to get to those spots and go through the show. So a little bit about maybe the leadership side. What is it like to be a drum major, and what are your roles and responsibilities, and what have you gotten out of this experience?
Well, it's a really big, you know, to be in charge of all these people in my band, to make sure that their marching is what I want it to be, their playing is not lacking. And, you know, to be a leader, sometimes I have to give criticism to them, which is really the hardest part. You know, they're all my friends, so to have to criticize what they're doing, but still be nice about it and try to help them, you know, that's a skill that I've really learned through this position.
It's a skill that will serve you well, and let me tell you, it is always going to be difficult to criticize people you know and you love, but that's what we need to do to get better in this world. So, great interview. Thank you so much for your time, and good luck to you next year or wherever you go. All right, back to you guys at the booth.
Demby, now I know where Fred got it from. All that criticism. Or that just might have been Fred. We are still got a lot of great competition coming up. That was Kalani coming up on deck. The rival for Mililani, the Leilehua High School Mules Marching Band. They're going to be up next here on OC 16. Welcome back. The 20th annual Mililani High School Trojan Marching Band Fest is lock and step. Keep going on. We got about, at least probably my guess estimation, about another hour left in the competition and also the awards, and you want to stick around for all of that. Getting their props and people in place is the Leilehua Mules Marching Band. Leilehua, another school that's a mix of a military element from Schofield and Wheeler, blending in with the local community of Wahiwa.
And they always have a fantastic show. This year, their theme is Through Life Ethereal, and you'll see all their standing props, the trees created by Rabe Sue, who is a band dad. His daughter's Kelsey Sue.
And that, you said it, you hit it right there, is that they always have a fun performance. I think it was last year we had the big silver ball out on the field. And again, we've seen across the board interesting ways that they've put together themes. Take me inside the mind of some of these band directors and people. How do they come up with ideas? Some probably collaborate, some it's just How did it stick?
Most of it is a collaboration. A lot of the band directors that I spoke to really valued the input of their students, so they have a lot of say in what the show ends up looking like. And then as it evolves, of course, everyone jumps in, band parents, other band directors. We see a lot of band directors collaborating with other directors and other alumni. So there's a lot that goes into it, and it really is a team effort.
Team effort, and for people watching this broadcast, if it's your first time, you're going to want to watch at the very end. We're going to show a scene of, they're going to get their awards, and that's all fine. They're all lined up by school. But just after that, when they're kind of released, they all just mingle. And I always take away from that. That's one of those, Fred's talked about it, you've touched on it, the friendships, the relationships.
Yes.
That's one of the coolest things that happens.
It is. You make friends not only from your school, but all the other schools. So right now you see them in the stands, and they're already getting to know each other, but they've gotten to know each other throughout the different years and throughout the different competitions. So we like to call it the blending of the bands, and you just see one big, beautiful mess of colors, and you just see all the students mingling with each other and making friendships that truly last a lifetime.
You saw the table there, and it's really almost a banquet table of awards that are going to go out as we break it down later. The judges have a tough thing of putting this all together. They get a rating, they get some individual awards, and here's another shot of it as we go across the sweeps stakes awards, sweeps awards there, the tall ones that go to the school. And when you get one of those, I got to imagine a lot of pride on the bus ride back to campus.
Yeah, a lot of pride, a lot of chanting. It's really an exciting time.
And let's not keep them waiting anymore.
Okay.
For Leilehua's introduction, let's go to Darren Hernandez.
The Leilehua High School Mules Marching Band, under the direction of Mr. Alan Kinoshita, is led by drum major Ocean Akaka. The Leilehua High School Mules Marching Band fields 72 winds, 25 percussionists, and 17 color guard. Their show tonight is Through Life, Ethereal. Movement 1, A Reckoning. Flute soloist Lachelle Ugalde. Movement 2, Consciously, Gently. Movement 3, The New Day. Drum major, is your band ready? Leilehua High School Mules Marching Band, you may take the field in Class AAA competition.
Chains, my burden, such pain, the penance. This life, these chains. My mind, this prison. Learn to shed these chains. My opinion, not fact. My perspective, not truth. Time of reckoning is now behind us. Cast your chains. Be free! Precious privilege to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Live life happy. Be ethereal.
I don't know about you, but I'm going to make that my new motto. Be ethereal.
You are ethereal, Dave.
something. Leilehua, though, is always fun, and I think we saw a serious message incorporated with a lot of neat stuff.
Right. Beautiful show overall. Lots of props, a lot of movement.
Lots of trees.
Lots of trees.
We've seen that in a few performances tonight, the use of trees. Touched upon the Oz theme, but and if you look at it, it's PVC pipe, and you shout out to the band dad, right?
Robbie Sue, band dad of Kelsey Sue, who's made other great props for Leilehua Band in the past. So thank you so much for everything. It really adds to the feeling of the performance.
And that is now that's something to put together that much PVC pipe. Let's go to some of the highlights right now, and some of your favorite moments. You liked when the chain came out.
Right, the chain represents the weight or burdens of life, and the motto is, or the theme is, that we have to let go in order to live a happy life. But you see the students just being burdened and weighed down by this chain.
You also see in this early clip here, they did not have their hats on yet. That was a later transition effect that they did.
Right.
That was pretty fun.
It was, yes. See, the students are doing a lot more movement than they previously have done. We had a beautiful flute soloist as well.
And the movement of the brass, this tight, compact formation, different levels, different planes, that caught your eye.
It did catch my eye because they also used direction for in order to make the change of dynamics more pronounced. So when they were facing backfield, normally they play a lot softer, and then they face front and big sound.
And of course, if you're going to be a cool band, you got to have an electric bass.
She's bringing it. They are incorporated a lot of many unique instruments like electric guitar and keyboard, meeting the diverse needs of the students because they wanted to be involved in the marching band. So he incorporated them.
Let's meet some more diverse needs and go down to Mr. Needy himself, Fred Murphy, who's with somebody. Fred.
More diverse needs. Actually, that's very, very true. I'm standing here with Michelle. Michelle had double duty in the last show. She started playing the flute, and it was an excellent solo. I find out that she doesn't even take lessons. It's all self-trained. Let's see a flute on, and talk to us about how hard it is to get a flute out there on the field.
It's not too hard. I mean, I'm just standing there. So, I mean, I just had to practice a lot. And having the mic there was kind of hard because you had to change levels every single time we perform because all stadiums are different. So we had to always mess with those levels.
That's really actually what I meant about the whole thing. The logistics of getting a flute mic'd and getting it on the field and having it sell really well with the balance of the band is really, really tough. It takes a lot of people to put a wonderful show like that out there, lots of props. So how did that happen?
We have Uncle Robbie, one of the parents that always help out. He made our scaffolding and all of our trees and put together all the bases. Him and a whole bunch of other parents helped to make this happen, and we want to thank them for that.
So that dream starts with a band director or somebody scribbling on a paper, but it's usually some band dad or somebody else who makes that happen. And the last thing about shows like this is that it's not just one director, although Mr. Kinoshita does a lot. There are a lot of support people helping you out this year, kind of an army of support staff.
Yeah, we have a whole bunch of alumni that come back and help our school to make these productions happen. We also have people that come in voluntarily to come and help us put out a show like this. So thank you for that as well.
Now, we have to share something with Dave. He made a comment like we're some sort of rivalry. We have some sort of rival here between Mililani and Leilehua. There's a lot of actually camaraderie between the two bands this year and in years past.
Yeah, so we always have we always play together, honor band and stuff, and we're pretty much great friends. Leilehua and Mililani are always friends together at those kind of things.
Yep, lots of camaraderie. All Central District North. We enjoy a lot of fun and friendship between the two schools. Back to you guys. Thanks for your...
Fred, you're killing me. The antagonism angle is what sells tickets and seats. Don't give away the truth. But, along those lines, a really good thing, and talk about, shout out how they get along. It's a partnership with Mililani.
Yes, the beautiful flags that you saw were actually on loan from Mililani High School to Leilehua. The flags are very expensive, so you can see the friendship that they have, the community support, and the good relationships of working together. And also, the students raise over 90% of the funds necessary to support this program, and they do that on their own. So on December 10th, they have a craft fair, and they're looking for vendors. So if you'd like to support the Leilehua Band, go to leilehuaband.org and help them out.
And we're not done here yet. We've got coming up James Campbell High School, the Sabre Marching Band. This is the 20th annual Mililani High School Trojan Marching Band Fest on OC 16. Back here at Mililani High School as the 20th annual Mililani High School Trojan Marching Band Fest continues on into the night. And on the field ready to go is the Campbell High School Marching Band. And for their introduction, Darren Hernandez.
The James Campbell High School Sabre Marching Band, under the direction of Mr. Ke Anuenue Hayashi and assistant directors Armando Langeman and Greg Akamine, is led by drum majors Reeves Higashiona, Elisa Gascon, and Lucas Archibald. The James Campbell High School Sabre Marching Band fields 117 winds, 17 percussionists, and 11 color guard. Their show tonight is The Music of Ray Charles, Movement 1, America the Beautiful, Hallelujah, I Love Her So, Daniel Barrett, trumpet soloist. Movement 2, Let the Good Times Roll, Garnett Stone Jr. and Jerome Corpuz, trombone soloists. Movement 3, Georgia on My Mind, Bye Bye to Love. Drum major, is your band ready? James Campbell High School Sabre Marching Band, you may take the field in Class AAA competition.
Campbell High School, fun show. Ray Charles music just makes you happy.
It does, and they did such a great job. They really put their hearts and souls into this program, and they were just having a great time.
A large band, over 200 students in it. This is a big chunk of the whole music program out at Campbell High School, and they've really come a long way in a short time.
They have. Just 5 years ago, there were only 20 students in the program, and now 260 members within 4 different ensembles, and 140 of those in this marching band.
Just an excellent job, and I know Fred will agree to this too, but when you have that traditional company front with a large band,
yes,
that's a classic to see that.
Yes, that is the most effective position on the field, just that one straight line. The Rockettes do it so well. Campbell does it so well.
And when you have a large band like this, you can just have that big sound, and they certainly deliver that as well. We'll go to some of the highlights right now, some of the favorite moments. Trumpet solo was solid.
Solid trumpet solo, clean, beautiful. And then the way the band picked up on it right after this.
Yeah, they came up and it's like brought from solo to a big group ensemble.
They brought it.
Hey, shout out to the trombone section and the solo.
He just sounded so good.
And again, we touched upon it at the end right here, the company front. That's something cool that the numbers of a large band lend itself to that smaller groups can't do.
Right. Well, not as effectively visually and with that wonderful sound, but it is also one of the most difficult things to do.
To get it lined up.
To get it completely straight.
Meanwhile, lined up down on the field is our latest VIP interviews, and for that, we're going to have a 3-person company front on this shot coming up right now. Fred, you're on.
Right on. So I'm here with, is it Alicia? Okay, Alicia and Reeves. Thanks so much. Alicia, you are a flute and a member of the Campbell Sabre Marching Band. You know, I was talking to your director earlier. He was talking about how the thing that he's most proud of is the soul that the students play with and how much passion comes through their music. Would you agree?
Yes, I agree, because everybody works super hard and they put their heart and passion, and it shows in everything they do. And I'm very proud to be in this band.
You know, the music of Ray Charles is very sophisticated. That jazz feel is hard to portray, and I got to tell you, I felt it. How did it feel to march it?
Very, very good. Oh my God. But they put in the passion, and like it really shows. So I'm proud to play this music, this type of music.
It does make you proud. Did you well? Hey, so Reeves, we were talking a little bit about the growth of the band. This is the 4th year of a competitive marching show from Campbell High School. You were a freshman with the first year, and now you're the drum major of the band. Talk to us about that experience. What has it been like from your freshman year to now?
It's been one amazing experience so far. Like from my freshman year, like I was just getting used to the concept of marching band, and all those years that passed by to now, it's taught me so much things that I need to know for the real world. And it's been such a passion for me because I met so much great people, and I got to follow really great band directors that I could never ever forget, even if after everything. I would never forget about this no matter what.
A band is a part of the community. It's sort of the heart of your community somewhat. And what has it meant to the Campbell community to see this band grow and become a bigger part of the community?
It basically shows that as much as the band grows, the whole community can see that there's so many talented individuals in the band, and that as it grows, we can unite a lot of people, and we can band together and give people great music, and we can also show the community good things about it, and that we can also in high school year. Yeah.
Great job. 4th year. Big program, only getting bigger. So proud to see you guys out here. Thanks for coming to Trojan Bandfest. Back to you guys up at the booth.
I think Reeves is a future band director. He has the passion, and I'm not going to be surprised in about 7-8 years to see him leading the whole music department. But Campbell High School, congratulations. Job well done. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. Coming up, one of the schools that always delivers. Menehune may be small as far as the traditional person that we think of, but they are huge on the marching band scene. And you're going to see them up next on OC 16. You're looking at Moanalua, Na Menehune, the marching band and color guard, and this is a big group, and they are always they are a showstopper. They have a good performance every single time. They bring a lot of people and fans. You see the blue and white up there, a big chunk of the people, sitting room, standing room only, whatever it would be, and you can see the look. They're concentrating, just about ready to go. But Scheherazade,
the princess that told the story of the 1001 Arabian Nights to save herself from being executed by the Sultan. And the music is based on Rimsky-Korsakov's symphonic work, Scheherazade.
We were talking about this as far as the theme and everything. I said, I guess it's not the Disney version exactly, but it's still going to be a good storytelling. And looking at the faces here, and this is a neat thing about having these cameras, we can get these close-ups, the emotion that they're going through. This is a culmination right here.
The anticipation.
And for them to get started, there's only one way to do that, and that's for their introduction by Darren Hernandez.
The Moanalua High School Menehune Marching Band and Color Guard, under the direction of Mr. Eldon Seta and Assistant Directors Rona Barbosa, Kevin Takesue, Tadahiro Mea, is led by drum majors Taiga Benito, Lopaka Martin, and Christian Jacob Lacuesta. The Moanalua High School Menehune Marching Band and Color Guard fields 144 winds, 32 percussionists, and 28 color guard. Their show tonight is Scheherazade. Movement 1, the story of Prince Kalendar, Edra Ha, flute soloist. Movement 2, the story of the prince and the princess, Dane Pinnell, Edra Ha, Grace Kang, Carissa Miyamoto, Kobe Tour, Kiara Vissens, soloists. Movement 3, Festival at Baghdad, Edra Ha, flute soloist. Drum major, is your band ready? Moanalua High School Menehune Marching Band and Color Guard, you may take the field in Class AAA competition.
That was amazing. Wow is what the only way to describe it. And I mean, that is huge of what they just pulled off there. Scheherazade, the story of telling the stories to keep her alive and everything, cast a spell, so to speak, on the prince. I'll tell you what, they just, Na Menehune did it big time, and culminating with the lighted sashes toward the end of the program.
Wasn't it beautiful? Just a delight for all of the senses. I mean, visually amazing, musically amazing. It was just such a powerful performance, and they incorporated so many elements. Wherever you look, there was something going on.
And you were talking to me about it when you were doing your research on them. This may be their most difficult performance that they think they've ever done.
Yes, according to Mr. Seta, he said hands down the most difficult performance in the history of their program. And you can just see why. It was just fantastic. The audience here was going crazy because music is really about how it makes you feel, and this crowd just totally appreciates.
Yeah, they have a little swag as they're coming off the field. It's going to stop, acknowledge the crowd there, and it is just this was a treat.
It was a treat for all of us, yes. Here at the stadium, too, we could feel the crowd going wild. I was getting goosebumps. How about you?
That was definitely something special in that performance. And let's go to some of the highlights right now and some of our favorite sections. Their rifles and what they were doing aerially, that'll make Fred Murphy happy.
Look at that.
The height they got, all the catches.
That is not easy. And those rifles, as Fred was saying, they're solid wood, so it hurts.
Yeah, to grab it or get hit by it, but they didn't drop anything as far as I could tell tonight. Musicality, spot on.
As always. I mean, the solos were just fantastic. The tone, the intonation, the musicality, these students are really performing at such a high level.
Everything complemented their theme, Scheherazade and the storytelling.
Yeah, even their foot movements and their precision in their marching, you can see that they are together. They are truly a band.
And this is when the sashes were lit. It became something, when they were moving with the crossing light, it was unbelievable as far as the visual element.
It was such a unique, special effect that really translated really well to all of us here in the stadium.
We have to find out how they came up with that idea. And maybe the person to find out that answer, among other things, is our VIP interview person, Fred. Let's see what's going on down there.
Hey guys, I got a senior. He's a French horn player. This is Dane Pinnell. He's a member of the Moanalua Marching Band and Color Guard. Hey Dane, first of all, we have Darren Hernandez. He is such a tremendous vocalist out there. I mean, up in the booth, and he announces at the beginning of the show, "Drum Major, is your band ready?" What does it feel like when you hear those words?
Well, he has a very distinguished voice, and it's very, I don't know. It's just like, it's very grand when he talks, and I always know it's always the Mililani competition where we perform and we hear his voice. And it's always a cool feeling, you know, our last show, being able to hear his voice announce our show, yeah.
Yeah. So you're a French horn player, and everybody should see this mouthpiece. French horns have to play on a very, very tiny mouthpiece, and they're doing this. You guys have this great feature right at the beginning of the show, and there's a lot of backward marching. How difficult was that for your section?
Very difficult. We had to have a lot of sectionals to, you know, just get those notes together. It took a very, very long time, you know, up until like our first competition to get it all together and really glued together, yeah.
So right around your neck, there are 4 stars signifying the 4 years you're in the Moanalua Marching Band. And then right around the front there, replacing what normally goes across your chest, is this great new prop. So tell me a little bit about that prop this year.
Well, it was very exciting to find out we get to wear stuff, and you know, our directors just brought it upon us one practice, and we were all kind of like, oh, what the heck is this for? And then one practice we got to try it on, and we found out it turns on, and we you know, we as a band, we don't get to see the effect that the light has on because it's always on video. So I don't know, we think it's still cool, but we just wish we could see it in person, yeah.
So I did a little bit of talking right before we did this interview, and I found out that next year you're going off to college and you want to become an EMT, emergency medical technician. You're going to go save lives. So one of the things you have to know about all these students is they're not all becoming music majors. They're going to go out and they're going to do great things in this world. It was a pleasure to meet you today. Good luck to you in the future. Thank you very much. Back up to you guys in the booth.
Tell you what, he was asking about seeing it. He can't quite see it live, but if he gets home by 10:30 tonight, rebroadcast on OC16, then again tomorrow, Sunday, 11 a.m., the 20th annual Mililani High School Trojan Bandfest. That will be the only 2 encore showings of the Bandfest. But amazing stuff there. But we're not quite done yet. The host school, Mililani High School, the Trojan Marching Band, they're going to be up next. It may be exhibition as far as awards, but it's going to be award-winning when you see it next on OC16.
Nice.
Welcome back, 20th annual Mililani High School Trojan Marching Band Fest. This is going to be the last act of the night, but it's going to be good as always. And I'm not just saying that because I'm an alum and Fred's an alum, but that's the way it goes. In exhibition, they are going to bring you their performance, and this is always, as you see, the band director, Mr. Derek Kaapana, and they always have a show. We try to predict, I think, sometimes what's the theme going to be, and you can't.
You just can't. Derek always surprises us every single year. And so Fred and I got a behind-the-scenes view when we did the little close-up sections, and it's going to be interesting to see it all kind of come together with all the uniforms tonight.
We mentioned throughout the broadcast, especially early on, this is the last competition in the marching band schedule, so to speak. For the people watching this tonight, it's going to look good, but I tell you what, they were still doing major chunks of the show as far as tweaking it and redoing it as of last week.
That's true. Yep. There's always a lot of adjustments and tweaking and changing things and trying to make everything better every single time.
I was mentioning to Fred back in, the dark days and in the 80s when we were still in band, it was just something that you learned one show and that was it. But for them to be working on it this late, to me, is pretty amazing. And without further ado, the show is underway.
Science tries to understand how the universe works. Religion tries to understand the meaning of life and why we exist. Science and religion are 2 realms of understanding who we are in the cosmos, and we are both searching for the truth.
One of the greatest tragedies of our time is the impression that science and religion have to be at war. The problem is when one crosses the line, when scientists claim God doesn't exist, and when theologians base their facts on scripture.
Science and religion are not at odds with each other. They just deal with different things. Science deals with the mechanics, the how things work.
While religion deals with the why, the meaning behind it.
They both work in harmony.
What if God is a metaphor for the universe, and we really are created in its image?
Look up at the stars, not down at your feet. Try to make sense of what you see and wonder about what makes the universe exist.
What is the most astounding fact you can share with us about the universe?
The most astounding fact.
The most astounding fact
is the knowledge that the atoms that comprise life on Earth, the atoms that make up the human body, are traceable